individuality of things and wanting to find that and seeking that out, making up a reality just to make that true. You want to feel like you're going to be the one that can go against the grain. I think it's because you so badly want that reality.
Here we go. How have you been?
I've been good. I know it won't seem weird to anybody because we just upload, like we're uploading weekly, but it's been so long since we recorded.
Yeah.
Last time.
Yeah, it's been
We had a backlog, so.
Yeah, it's been a couple
Because
weeks.
we have been gone.
Yeah.
We were gone for what?
2 weeks?
13 days?
Yeah, something like that.
13 days, and then we had to catch a super early flight, got back in, rushed to teach, and then we've been just falling apart the last couple days.
Falling apart. Yeah, trying to get our bearings back. Oh my God.
How have I been? Well, I got sick in one of our last work cities, so that was not great. But other than that, I am excited for the holiday season to come up. I'm happy to be back in the warm Florida.
God, this is so interesting right now.
I know. How have you been? Not good.
Alcohol is the worst, huh?
For you.
Oh my God. It's so horrible how it affects my brain.
I wonder if like if it always has affected you that way and you just haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
My guess would be probably,
Yes.
I can't imagine like you have an intolerance to it now. It's like everybody does. It's poison.
Well, I think it has
But
been.
I also wonder, you know, how some people say like, well, if I drink this kind, like it affects me like this. I wonder if there's a little part or a little truth to that with you of you drink kind of the same things, that I wonder if you mix it up or had something different, if it would have as much of an effect. We really only drink whiskey. So to me, I would think it probably wouldn't, just because the other liquors are the same kind of. Like, I guess my example is, well, when I drink wine, I get a headache. I was like, well, yeah, because there's a bunch of sugar in it. It's not like it's a different kind of alcohol. It's just what it's made up of.
Well, and I kind of like what I said to you earlier too, is I wonder if it's because then I don't sleep good, that then the next day is just bad, it's just shitty.
Yeah.
Like I just don't, it's like I'm a different person, my brain thinking.
Yeah.
And it's like not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not positive.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's kind of where I can, like you said, like you wonder if it's been happening kind of forever. It's like, I definitely think so, because this feels very familiar to feelings before, that it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you just don't point the finger to it.
Yeah.
You don't think it's ever that. So you don't you don't even consider it. And then when you start to draw conclusions, or you start to like, things start to match up, and then you realize it's probably that, and then you can't unsee it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Oh my God, this just ruins me.
Which, does that make you feel better that if it's from alcohol, like relating to the sleep, or like what if it's just sleep? Like what if you're this bent out of shape if you just don't get like a certain amount of hours of sleep? That would really scare me.
I don't think it's that, because these whole past weekends I've been not sleeping as much and not the same.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. It's like I sleep so bad. I'm like I wake up so many times during the night, and I'm sweating, and then I wake up freezing, and I'm like having bad dreams, and then
your body is trying to release the poison.
It's crazy how much it affects me.
Yeah.
It's crazy because
Yeah.
when I don't drink and then then I sleep, I don't wake up I wake up maybe once or twice compared to like 10, 15 times. I don't have like sweating and then cold. So like my body temperature is very normalized and the same throughout the whole night. And I don't have bad dreams really at all. Like I'm sleeping and then I wake up and I'm way more alert, way more energized. And then the whole day I'm just more in a positive mind frame.
Yeah.
To where when I drink, I'm in just like negative, like everything is bad. My life sucks. Everything's sad. It's like,
yeah. Well, it's kind of crazy
so
how, I mean,
shitty.
it's like, it makes sense. Like when your body is not in commission, it affects your brain. And then when your brain is bad, like it affects your body too, in the way that you feel. Like that's what I always notice when we go back home and we're drinking more and we're eating not on our routine and what we normally do. And it's like, I start to feel sick. It's not even just like, okay, a couple days and like a hangover feeling. It's like every day I start to feel like I'm like sick, in the sense of I have kind of a maybe more sensitive stomach. Like I don't really get headaches that often, but I will get nauseous frequently, more than the average person. Like even if I'm not sick, like sometimes I'll think of eating a certain food and I'll like kind of get sick to my stomach. That I notice when I have more days of having the weird food and the alcohol and like combinations of those, my like symptoms, like my negative symptoms of just how my body reacts, gets worse. So then I just start to feel nauseous like all day, and I start to like get headaches a little bit more frequently, or like my stomach just seems like it's on edge all the time.
Yeah. That's where I wonder how much of it has to do with the alcohol versus how much of it has to do with the sleep. But it's like I can't drink alcohol and then have regular sleep.
Yeah.
It's like it kind of goes hand in hand, and it's such a drastic difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, and it's one of those things that like I didn't think it had anything to do with it, to where it's like, oh, I kind of see the correlation now between it, and I can't not see it.
Yeah.
It's like it's so clear that it's that.
It's so crazy to me how like when you're tired or you're sleep deprived or lack of sleep deprived is so dramatic, but when you've had less sleep than you normally do, like how much it affects, like you said, like how you think and your behaviors. Like the weakest point that I will ever be is right when I wake up. Like I could never be more of a weak human than in that 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like any thought that I have right then is like, it's kind of like, what's the point of getting up? Or like, I have to do so much today. Or like, thank God I can just like get up and sit down. Or like thinking of having to get up and do life. It's like, my days are so easy. It's not like, life is not that taxing. It's not that crazy. But even just those 30 seconds, it's like, I could not be weaker in that moment. So like, even knowing that, that's not the time for me to make any decisions. That's not the time, which getting into the topic of today of scheduling, like I have to be so strict on that of like, you say you're going to get up at this time, you better get up at this time, because I will talk myself out of that.
You almost can't think about it.
No, because my brain is weak right then. It is the weakest it will be.
That's kind of where I'm opposite, is like, I'm very go right away in the morning.
Yeah.
Like that is where I have kind of like my energy bar is full, and I'm the most like ambitious.
I am, so as soon as I stand up.
Oh.
It's literally just when I open my eyes and I know like I have to like move out of bed. It literally is just like the 30 seconds until I stand up is when it's really bad.
Yeah.
But as soon as I'm up, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm definitely, it's like my ambition is at 100% in the beginning of the day, and then it's just like slowly trickling away. And it's like by, 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm starting to like having to get the disciplined mind going of like, okay, you have these things left. You still got to do this. You still got to
That's so interesting.
keep going. Like how I should structure my days, which I kind of do, but it's like I should get as much as I can done within the first however many hours of being awake, because it's so much harder for me to do stuff or get stuff done like the last fourth or last third of the day, because my ambition is just slowly run out.
I'm pretty good all day. Like I'm pretty good until
quick bragging.
Well, because I'm trying to think like
I'm perfect.
No. Like I don't have necessarily big waves or big crashes of when I have motivation to do things throughout the day. Like I think I get excited for the events of the day a little bit. So it's like, okay, well, once I do this, then it's cool because we'll have this later or we'll have this later. And it's like each day throughout the day, I just keep looking forward to the next thing. But then there does come a point where I can tell I'm getting tired. My brain is getting tired. So like different, I just know when to do what. Like, okay, when it's towards the end of the night, that's the time where I'm going to stop doing work emails or thinking about difficult things because I am getting tired, but I can still be like excited to watch a movie, or I'm excited to cook dinner, or I'm excited to like just still be awake. Like I love being like late night person. So it seems like fun to be awake, but I know to not be productive. To where in the morning, same thing. Like I'm excited to do it, and I maybe have more juices to be productive thinking and whatever. But it's all kind of even throughout the day. I just put all of my lacking in right when I wake up.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're kind of saying the same thing, but in different ways. Because like I don't see like watching a movie or doing dinner as like, oh, I need to be ambitious for that, or work. That is like the easy part of the day.
Yeah, I think maybe you've
like
changed on this.
I wouldn't do work at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
But
I guess maybe where I'm coming from is maybe you've changed on this, is like even if during that time of the day, if we talked about something we were doing the next day, you were just like, I'm going to have a bad attitude about it because like it's at night. So it's like I can think about it, I can talk about it, I can like process like, okay, tomorrow I got to do these things, and it doesn't get to me.
Yeah.
It's just I know physically I probably shouldn't be like critical thinking right now.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like doing stuff. I lose the optimism and the ambition, and it's like I did all of this stuff this morning and today. Like, let's just chill out and like not talk about or figure out serious things.
Yeah. I can talk about it and do it. It's literally just the like having the process of it.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
It's like that, like nothing good happens after 2 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
To me, it's like nothing good happens after 4 in the afternoon. Like,
that's crazy.
No more serious stuff.
That's great. Okay, we got time.
Yeah, we're good still. I don't know. I just like, my brain just it winds down. And it's like, it's just a struggle bus to.
Yeah.
It's like, let me just deal with this tomorrow. Because I know, like, in
this
the morning I'm going to be able
recharge.
to handle it.
Yeah.
And I'm recharged, and I can think about it, and I can like have a better point of view and optimism and all that kind of stuff, to where it's like at night I'm like, I'm done with the day. I don't want to.
So how do you utilize structure in your day and scheduling? Like that's what we're talking about today, is kind of just what we think the benefit of having a set plan for your day or your weeks, or like what you're going to do hour to hour, even the benefit of that. And like, how do you think you have structured your life so that it works with your traits in that way?
I think slowly over time, I've figured some of those things out for me, that it's like now trying to build my schedule around that, to where it's like, okay, maybe I need to try to keep some like freedom at the end of the day, so that I'm not working all the way until the end, or just like I work way better at the beginning of the day. So maybe trying to maximize that. It's like, okay, get up earlier. If I'm like go right away in the morning, well, it'd be stupid for me to get up at 10 o'clock because
your brain still knows, even though it's your morning, it's still late.
Yeah, because I'm shutting down by 4. It's
Yeah.
like, well, you're only giving yourself 6 hours of productivity. It's like, why don't we work that back? And now I can give myself 12 and utilizing it in that way. And just those little things of like knowing I'm a fast starter and I peter out towards the end of the day. So maybe let's not put like our job or career or whatever it is, or all of the stuff that I need to be productive in towards the end of the day. Like, why would I put a workout in at 5 p.m.?
Yeah.
I'm going to have no ambition to go do that. It's like, I need to find a way to get that done earlier in the day where I have the ambition to do it, and trying to make everything else that way. Sometimes you don't have the choice. You know, you don't always get to pick if you're first shift, second shift, third shift, whatever. But I think just knowing those little things about yourself and then making the schedule around that, rather than just like listening to people go like, you have to get up at 6 a.m. and go to be in bed by 9 and blah, blah. It's like, well, maybe you totally don't work that way.
Yeah.
It's like what you've said with dance for how many years is you were most productive from like 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
That, how long were you doing that? It's like, well, that's where you put your most productive time then. If that's kind of how you naturally are working, why listen to somebody and go, well, they said I have to get up at 6 a.m. if I want to be a productive person and get stuff done. It's like, well, that's not at all how you work. So you might as well just go with what you already naturally are good at and can manage, and then start building everything else kind of around that.
I think we've done a good job of adjusting to make sure that getting up early works. Like, I think what we've tried in the past was we want to get up early, and then we don't change anything else. We just start getting up early, and then that fades because we just we get tired and we don't really want to do that the next day or the next week because like we're still going to bed at 11 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you're going to schedule your day, it helps to be like structured from top to bottom. For me, it does. Like, because then I can see how the whole formula works together. Like, well, if I want to get up early, I need to go to bed earlier. So if I need to go to bed earlier, that means I need to have dinner done earlier. And that means I need to set the whole day ahead. And that means that maybe, okay, well, we're East Coast and some of my jobs are West Coast. So how can I structure my day so that they're going to be awake, but then I can still be productive in the middle of the day and not have to wait until 10 p.m. when it's still, work hours for them.
Well, I think
you got to see it as like a full picture.
Yeah, and I feel like what we've done in the past too is like, oh, we want to get up earlier and start trying to do that, and then we like put the workout right away in the morning, and it's like you're putting one of the harder things of the day immediately in the morning. So as soon as you wake up, you're like, oh, I got to work out right now. It's like you said, your weakest moment is the 30 seconds you wake up kind of thing. And now you immediately are thinking like, well, what's the first thing I got to do? I got to wake up and go work out. It's like, I got to push myself. It's like you immediately want to just retreat back. That's like,
now, if I had to do that, that's where I would just like having the structure of I'm getting up at 5. No matter what, I'm getting up at 5. I'm setting the alarm every single day. I'm doing that. So that there's no like, well, the days I work out, I wake up at 5, and the other days I wake up at 8, and then it's mix and match. Like, I think it's just like a workout plan. Like, if you have a program, you're probably going to follow it versus when you show up to the gym and then just wing it and like figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah.
That if you set it and then just continue to follow it, like, yes, getting up and working out would not be my ideal, but if I had to do it, then I would have to rely so heavily on you're getting up at 5. Regardless, you have to get up. And then if I'm up, I'm probably like, what am I going to just not work out? I'm already awake.
Oh, see, that wouldn't be enough for me. That wouldn't be enough to like motivate me to still work out. Or like with the coming next days, like, it would just seem like, oh, this is such a daunting task.
Oh, yeah.
It's like at night when you're maybe winding down and it's like, oh, when I get up, I got to go work out right away.
Yeah.
That's such a big difficult task to do right away in the morning.
Yeah.
That to me, it's like I like what we do of getting up and we go for a walk. It's like, that's not crazy physically or mentally. Like, it's not like I have to wake up and immediately start my job and I'm working crazy right away, or I got to wake up and push myself and push my body immediately in the morning. It's like there's kind of this ease into the day, but it's still something that's, I don't know, like it feels good. It's somewhat productive and just like sets the day off nicely. I think that's where I've gotten stuck in the past, is like, I go like, okay, I'm gonna start waking up early. And then for some reason I immediately go like, why don't I just work out right away? It's like, yeah, it sounds good in theory, but then I start doing it and I'm like, I wake up at 5 and I'm like, oh, I got to go like pump weights right now. I got to go push a bunch of weight around. It's like, sucks. This is hard. And it's like, then I'm like, well, I like to eat before I work out. So now I'm doing that. And now I'm eating, just thinking about how shitty this workout's going to be, or how difficult it's going to be, because it's 5:30 in the morning and I'm barely awake yet. That's like putting something so difficult right away in the beginning of the day.
Just doesn't work for you.
It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It's like it makes it daunting. And then I'm sitting there the night before going like, I got to get up and go work out immediately. It's like, this is not the best time of the day for me to do this.
Yeah. Some people it works great.
It's a recipe for like it failing and it falling apart.
And that's why I guess my original question was asking you how you've brought it into your life. And why I say the point of looking at it as a whole, as the whole day. So then you're able to see where things, like a puzzle, like where things in the schedule can go. Some people don't have an option to get up and not work out, right? Like they have kids and they got to pick them up from school, and then after school they go to the activities, and then it's dinner time and they have no time to work out. Like maybe you don't have the option to enjoy your workout. You just maybe have to get up and force yourself through it. Like
you don't have the options.
But then at least seeing your day as a full, okay, it's not, well, it's just weird that I can never get to my workout, or I can never fit it in. It's like, if you would look at your whole day and write it out, you would probably see that you're never going to fit it in. Because the schedule that I'm just talking about, if you get up without doing the workout and you're getting up with your kids, or just to get up to go to work, and you're getting up and going to work, putting your kids to school, and then the rest of your night is full, it's probably going to continue to be like that. And if you see it written out, you're probably going to see, oh yeah, it's jam-packed as soon as we wake up till we go to bed. So of course my workout's not going to get in. Of course I'm going to struggle to make food at home. Of course I'm going to struggle to get X, Y, and Z done. Versus just like being confused every time it doesn't happen. It's like being able to see the schedule as a full, then you're able to delegate appropriately where those things could maybe go better, or in what order they can be. If you have the option to kind of mix and match that, then to be able to see like, oh, okay, it's never going to happen in the afternoon, so I need to let that go. I got to get up at 5 and do it before the kids get up, or I got to do it before work, or whatever. I think that helps you be able to see the whole landscape.
Yeah.
Versus just like living in every hour of the day. Like, yeah, things are going to fall by the wayside.
Yeah. Like just scheduling it to be like scheduling your whole day. And at this hour is when I'm doing this, at this hour is when I'm doing that. And obviously there can be some leeway because some things will take longer or go shorter or whatever. But I think we've done that. I think people do that on their days off a lot of work, where it's like I kind of have the whole day, so they don't have a schedule of like when I'm going to go work out or when I'm going to go do this. So it kind of just goes with the flow. And that's just something that I feel like we're not very good at. It ends up being, should we go work out? I don't know. I don't really feel like it yet. Okay. And then it just gets pushed later and later. And then it's like, you really don't want to go now, but you kind of have to, because there's no other better time. And so I think that the scheduling just takes the guesswork out of it. And it's like you said, I get up at this time, and then now I go to this thing and I do this, and then this time and I do this. Like having it so scheduled out, you don't have to figure anything out anymore. It's all laid out for you. You just follow the steps, basically, or follow the daily routine. And I don't know, for me, I feel like that has taken so much of the well, what should I do now? And should I do this or should I do that? What's better? What's smarter? What's blah, blah, blah. It's like, just make a schedule and go with it.
Yeah.
And it probably doesn't matter if you work out at, 8 a.m. or 4 p.m. If you can fit it in either spot, just pick one and keep it the same all the time.
Yeah, that's better than what's probably going to happen if you just wing it, which is you probably won't go.
Yeah, there's more likely that you'll just end up cutting
and that's
it out.
why I like the scheduling, because it takes out it allows for less choice.
Yeah.
And I think when we have choice, we have emotion in it.
Yeah.
That's like when you're, again, the workout program thing. If I'm looking at my whole, the next 3 months or whatever, I'm not thinking, 3 weeks from now, I'm really not going to want to do squats that day. I'm really not going to do a heavy deadlift day.
Right.
It's like, but I know it's beneficial for me, so I'm going to write it in. I'm going to program it in. So then when that day comes, it's like, it's written.
Yeah.
I'm not going, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And then I'm coming up with my workouts. Like, it's going to be a bunch of leg extension, leg curls, and
Yeah. I feel like most people
curls.
do that if you're not following a program. It's
programming your life.
I should really do squats tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you're like, well, my back is kind of sore,
right.
or this kind of. It's
right.
like you just start to search for things and excuses to not do it. To where if you have it planned out and written out, it's like, sure, you aren't going to do squats at your full weight because something feels off, but you're still going to do the squats because it's in your program. And it's the same with your daily schedule. I get up at 6. That's just what it is. So I get up, and then I have this next, and you do that. And it's like, even if you don't really feel like it, I think that routine and keeping it consistent all the time, I don't know. It's like it weirdly gives yourself some stress relief because you don't have to figure out every step of the day.
Yeah.
Because it's already all mapped out for you. You already did that work beforehand. That's like you're just giving yourself more work on these days when you have to make all these different decisions and choices and stuff. And then it gives you something to have consistency in your life and be able to rely on. And you don't have to I don't know, almost find comfort in weird random things. Because your life is kind of comfortable of I have basically the same routine every day, and it's not stressful. It's not confusing. It's I know I get up at 6, we go for a walk, or we make our coffee, go for a walk, we come back, we do a little bit of work after that, then we go to the gym and work out, and it's you just have the same day over and over again, and then it's actually giving you something to build upon.
Right.
It's how do you see if you're progressing or building upon something when it's chaotic and sporadic all the time? It's I'm going to do this schedule for 2 weeks, and then you do it, and then you end up just going to go with the flow again. It's well, how do you know if your workout program's going well, or if you are staying on a good sleep routine and sleep schedule? Because you go to bed at 10 one night, and then 11 the next, and then 9, and then 12, and it's all over the place. And then you're well, I'm tired, I don't understand. It's because your sleep schedule's all fucked up, and then I don't understand why I'm not getting stronger or I'm not losing weight. It's well, your workout schedule's all fucked up. It's why do I not feel like I'm progressing at work?
It's I feel like I've been consistent lately. If you actually would look, you've gone 3 days this whole month.
Yeah, and part of it is just you don't have a schedule that you're following.
Yeah.
And keeping that consistent every day. That's what was nice about school. So it's it's the same thing every single day, and actually gives you something to build upon and understand just routine and discipline and something comfortable. You know what's coming next every time.
Well, it's the discipline equals freedom. School is a great example of that. We know we have to be here for 8 hours. We know what classes we go to hour to hour. So within that time, we have the freedom to mess around with friends or talk to people or take whatever route to your class that you want, because everything else is figured out. It's not well, I have to get these, 6 subjects in, and I need to figure out when I'm going to delegate my work to that. And I got to figure out what, assignments I need to give myself to practice that. It's all that is figured out for you ahead of time. You just have to show up. So then you showing up allows you to okay, what am I feeling? Or how do I want to do this class? Or how do I want to pay attention? Or how do I want to take notes? Or whatever. The structure is made for you. You just have to show up in it. And you're just doing that yourself of like, this is the structure of the day. This is my schedule. This is what I'm following along with. So now it's like, okay, I know I need to eat breakfast at this time. So now I just get to figure out, what am I going to eat? Versus, well, am I hungry? I don't know. Should I eat right now? Does it make sense to you right now? Or should I do emails right now? Like, no, you're designated to eat right now. So now you just have to figure it out. Or you wake up and you go on a walk. I don't have to think, well, should we go on a walk? Where should we go on a walk? How long should the walk be for the rest of the day? And then after that, what should we do? So that's already figured out. So now I can think on the way to the walk and just daydream and whatever and enjoy the drive, and we can talk, and on the way back we can continue to talk because we know once we get home we're going into our next task.
Yeah.
That it allows for more freedom. It allows for more when those things naturally come up in your day, or natural problems that you need to solve, or questions that you need to figure out. It allows for space for that. The things that you can't plan on.
Yeah, because if you don't have it all kind of planned or scheduled, that's what most of your time is being used as. Is like, well, what am I going to do next now?
Yeah.
What do I need to figure out? What choices do I need to make? It's like you said earlier. It's like, it's just taking the choices away from it.
Yeah.
And typically the choices come with emotions, and then those can be really weird decisions. But it's also for this. It's like having all of those things already figured out gives you this freedom to be able to problem solve when things come up, or just be able to kind of plan for things that maybe are going to come in the future, or it allows you time to think about things outside of that.
Yeah.
It's like, what if you went to school and you didn't know what you were going to be taught or do every day? You know, it's like, that's kind of what people are doing day to day.
Right.
It's like you're going to school, but not having a schedule. It's like, well, I don't know if I need to bring my biology books or my math books to this class, or what I need to do. And then you get there and it's like scramble to figure it out. Or it's like, well, and really it's like you going and you being in charge of what you're going to learn. Mm-hmm. So it's like, are you going to schedule out what you're going to learn every day?
Yep.
Or are you going to go there and just wing it and figure it out as you get there? It's like, oh, I'm going to go there. Okay, I'll do a little bit by it. Like, you have to figure out all of that stuff now, when you could have just had it prepared and planned, and a daily structure of how you do it every day. And now you don't have to even think about that structure. You just have to implement it and follow it. That's so much easier to do than it is to figure it out. It's like, what if you had to reteach yourself how to shower every day? It's like, that would suck. But everybody kind of has the same routine.
Yeah.
And you don't think about it.
Yeah.
So you just go do it, and that's not stressful, and that's not whatever.
Literally, you don't have to be even thinking about it.
Yeah.
You can just be...
Exactly. To where it's like, when we go for the walk, we go park in the same spot. Mm-hmm. We leave at the same time. We go to the same spot. We do the same route. And that allows us to be able to like think about other things and talk about other things and plan for the things, rather than like, where am I going to park, and what time should we leave, and when should we do that? It's like, well, no, we get up at this time. We leave at this time. We park in this spot. We know exactly where we're going. It's like, you don't have to figure any of that out.
We can basically get out of the car, go on our walk, come back and everything, and have a full streamlined conversation and not need to break it, because like we're just following a pattern.
It is every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is so less stressful, less anxious, rather than like, well, let's park over here today, or maybe we don't get up at 6 and we get up at 8 and then we go for a walk. Well, now
and then we're questioning, should we still go on a walk because later in the day, and oh, well, it's later in the day, so should I have coffee? Or we're going there, and then it's like, well, does he want to go on a longer walk? What is he feeling? Should we turn around at this spot, or I want to turn around at that spot, but should I say something?
Yeah. That's it. I think if you can just create these kind of systems for yourself, and these structures and these schedules, like you said, it allows the freedom to kind of deal with better things.
Yeah.
You know, like cooler things, more important things, and not these minuscule crap that just bogs up your brain and kind of makes you feel like you're going nowhere with it. It's like, even the breakfast thing, like, just make the same freaking breakfast every day. Why even think about it? And it's like, then if you start to notice, hey, this is kind of bothering my stomach, or it's not giving me energy, it's actually making me more tired or something. It's like, okay, then change it up and then do that for 3 months.
Yeah.
It's like, just do the same thing, because you don't have to think about it. It's why, the whole like wear the same thing every day.
Uniform. Why that's so, kids I've heard love that because it takes the stress out of,
Don't
it
have to
takes the
worry about
emotions out of it.
Yeah.
Of like, what are people going to think of this outfit? Or is it going to, do I want to wear that? That was horrible for me in school. Not like what are people going to think, but just like every day, the planning of it.
Yeah.
So I could just,
I didn't think twice about it.
yeah, I always did.
But that's also difference between boy and girl thing.
But again,
I think girls care more about
another
that.
way that I planned it is I knew if I got up and picked it out, it would take 20 minutes longer than it would have the day before.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
now I'm in the day of like, well, what do I want to wear today? I'm cold right now. So if I woke up and chose what I was going to wear, it's like it would be sweatpants and sweatshirt every single day because I'd have been freezing when I'm picking out the outfit, and I don't care what I look like toward the night before. It's like, no, I want to look cute tomorrow. I'm gonna get up a little bit earlier and curl my hair, and then I'm gonna wear this because whatever. And then tomorrow I just got to deal with that choice. I don't care if it's cold, you got to wear it. I don't care if you're tired, you got up and you're going to curl your hair because that's what's going to go with the outfit. You planned for this already. Now you just roll.
Well, and you even have majority of that, like you have the base of it anyways, to where if you wake up and you're like, I'm actually freezing, I'm gonna make an audible and like take a coat or take a sweatshirt or something. But you already have it all figured out.
Yeah.
Rather than
The
getting
whole thing
up,
from scratch.
The whole thing from, yeah, exactly. So even if you need to get up and change a little something, it's just a little. It's not,
right.
You have to figure out the entire thing. And that's
right.
what it's like. People that wake, it's like, what should I have for breakfast? It's like, yeah, no wonder you're rushing and freaked out and stressed. It's like you don't have this kind of streamlined because you're almost giving yourself too many choices.
Yeah.
It's like already have them figured out beforehand and then just stick with that. Oh, I don't really feel like eggs. Who cares? Just do it. You do it every day. Just do it again. And I think you realize
I can't do that.
Not that big of a deal.
I can't do that. It's just a food thing. I can't do that.
Well,
I'm doing my sensitive little stomach. Couldn't do that.
And everybody's going to have their thing. You know,
yeah.
It's like some people want to, like the outfits and the clothes is really they have to make it be awesome every day. And they're going to put their time towards that. But then they might not care about the eggs or the food. Or somebody might care about the food and not the outfit. And it's like, I want my showers to be 10 seconds. I don't want to spend 14 minutes in the shower. It's like, so you just start to figure out what's important to you, and then you build your schedule around that. But it's like you have to build the whole schedule around it. Don't just have it all freelance and choices and whatever. It's like no wonder we're all stressed out all the time. There's 400 different boxes of cereal and breakfast you can choose from. There's, how many different phones you can choose from. There's a new one that comes out every year. So then you're thinking, do I need to get the new one? And what TV show or what movie do I watch? And it's like, there's too many choices that if you just kind of streamline everything and make it almost like decisionless, this is just what I do. It takes so much of that stress and anxiety and what do I do? What do I not do? And it's already figured out.
It's like a kid that you go into like a toy room or something and their toys are everywhere. Like how overwhelming they get because they just see everything out.
Yeah.
That it's like, I don't know what I want to play with first. And now they just like get stressed because like all of it's available to me, but now I got to choose.
Yeah.
That if they had like two things in front of them, they'd probably be so much happier. Like, that's what that's life.
Yeah. All the time.
Decisions after decisions after decisions. Yeah. And we're still going to have to make a lot of decisions throughout our day, but at least then we can structure it within these like kind of segments of your day.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's where I'm trying to just pick things and go with it. It's like I even noticed that when we got these plants, when we went to the store or whatever, it's like we spent so much time looking. And it's like we ended up going with what we initially were going to go with anyways.
Sure.
That's like, that doesn't always happen, but it's like, okay, even if we did choose a different plant, it's like, would it really have mattered? There's not like this big grand choice that you have to figure out and find. It's like we wasted 30 minutes, 40 minutes there.
For real?
Probably.
40 minutes?
Probably. Maybe not 40, but I bet it's close to 30. That's like, why? And it's because there's a gazillion choices there. It's like, well, I got to find the one that I really like and that's going to work and blah, blah, blah. It's like, just pick one and leave.
Yeah.
I don't think your happiness is so dependent on the perfect choice. And that could just be me. It's like, I think stress is such an aggressive word for it that I wish I knew of a word that was less than that. But it's just like, this is just unneeded, like, angst.
Yeah.
That's like, just pick one and go. It's the same with like movies. I'll spend 25 minutes trying to find a movie. That's like, just pick one. You're getting more angst looking than...
You can't have the perfect choice because you won't know.
Yeah.
So I think that is something to consider. I think for me, there are certain things where it would really bother me to not put in the time to look. It's like, say, going out to eat. I want to look at everything and not just like, well, this is probably good enough. Like the first or second thing I see. Because we don't do that often. So I don't want to waste that choice this time on something that I'm not really going to enjoy when I could have just looked a little bit more. Or like plants. Like I don't want to spend the money on plants for something that isn't what we were going there to get. It's like we were going there to get air purifying plants. What if we got something that was just a plant?
Yeah.
That would piss me off to spend money on that.
Sure. And I think for everybody that it's going to be different things. Of what's what's important and we're spending the time on and what's not.
Sure.
And I think that's what I've noticed for me is I'm spending a lot of time on unimportant stuff. That doesn't end up having like a real great outcome that is like drastically different if I would have chose something else. You know, it's like I'm not gonna there's a gazillion movies. I'm not gonna find the perfect one for the mood that I'm in and what I want to watch, and it's all lines and blah blah blah. It's like I'm probably gonna be kind of satisfied by whatever it is and just do that rather than wasting 25 minutes. And now I'm going to bed later than I want to. And that's putting that whole schedule and routine off. And it's just, the little things like that. And for me, it's like the restaurant thing is another example. That's like, I don't think I'm going to be that much happier if I picked the perfect meal for right now. It's like, it's either the burger or like something you might want to hit that.
This or is it just moving this?
Maybe, moving that. Yeah, it's like if I pick the burger or the pasta, I'm not gonna have that much of a difference. If I pick this beer versus that beer, it's not gonna change my night. It's gonna be the same night.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think I'm learning myself more of every decision doesn't need to be the perfect choice and the perfect decision. I think I really would analyze that before because I just didn't want to make any bad choices ever.
Yeah.
Because in my head that just results in like you're a failure. But
and
I think I'm realizing the craziness of that. That's just like, okay, what are your things that you're going to maybe put a little bit more effort into, and what is just like, who cares? Not who cares, but like,
it doesn't change
either way is going to be probably fine.
Yeah. And that's a lot of my life.
Yeah.
That I'm trying to be less, like think less about those things. Cause just like, it's such a waste of time. And kind of like you work yourself up. I do.
Yes.
And then it's like you're putting this weird importance onto this decision when it really doesn't matter. It's like, who cares? Just pick either Coke or Pepsi or whatever it is. It's like it's not going to make a difference to me.
Yeah. It's so silly what I have some of those things about that like so doesn't matter. Like, I don't know why I was thinking of this, but like we were in the store in Arizona and I like was picking between these energy drinks and I wanted to get the cheap, like I wanted the deal. Like I wanted what was the cheapest ones for what you get. I probably like in most situations like that where I'm trying to find the cheapest deal, I would spend more time on that than if someone was like, where do you want to go on vacation? Like I would care less about that choice than how much an energy drink costs versus another one. That's what I would like to get better at is like, this is.
Yeah, that's, I feel it.
Like, I'd be like, would I like that place? I don't know. Maybe. There might be another place if I thought about it for 2 more seconds that I would like to go more, but I would rather risk that being a bad decision than there being 2 energy drinks there and I chose the more expensive one even though they're both the same. Like, that would eat at me.
I weirdly think that's a lot of people.
Oh, really?
I feel like
Everybody listen like, no, not at all.
Yeah. And maybe it's not like those specific examples, but I feel like people put so much attention and emphasis on very small little things, and then these big large things, it's like, yeah, whatever. Because for a lot of people too, it's like, and maybe that's not a great example because it's like, you're saying I can go on vacation. I don't give a shit. You fucking pick it. I get to go on vacation. I don't care.
But it's the same. Either way, I get an energy drink. I'm so caught up in the price. Like, I want to make the smart price option.
But I think either way, you're going to have fun on vacation.
Either way, I'm going to enjoy the energy drink.
I don't know. Maybe not, though.
That 50 cents is going to get me.
Well, it's maybe not even the 50 cents, but like the flavor. Maybe you won't like the flavor. I think But
that's not even what I'm debating in my head. It's just
the price.
I could love the flavor of the more expensive one, but I will enjoy the crappy flavor that I don't like because it's cheaper. Because I know I saved 50 cents.
Yeah. I don't know. I weirdly think that people are more, like, we're all more picky about the little shit compared to the big stuff.
Yeah. Maybe do we feel like we have more control over the little stuff?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I was trying to give another example, like.
And maybe I'm thinking of just those silly times, or what seems to be more common now is like, it seems like people get frustrated and upset about the smallest, stupidest shit. But
which is so funny because the stakes are so low with small stuff.
Well,
so it's
right.
like, even if this is a horrible decision,
yeah,
the damage is so minuscule to even care.
Because, like, people will be more calm about getting in a car accident than they will, like, if somebody rang up a grocery twice on accident.
Sure.
Or
maybe it's because the bigger things, like, the good or bad is so obvious. Like, it's already laid out for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
To where those small little, nitpicky decisions throughout your day, it's hard to see the damage because it's small.
But I feel like people analyze it a lot.
But maybe that's why we analyze it, because it's hard to see. Like, it's not as glaringly obvious. Ow, that was my ego.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, it seems like people get more worked up by the small little shit compared to, like, the big events. And I don't know why. Like, maybe it's kind of like what you're saying of you're paying so much more attention to the small little stuff. Or it's maybe the small stuff is just more specific. It's like people get so frustrated, like, if you ask for Coke and it's Pepsi. It's like, really?
This is very off on a whim, and maybe we can tie this into the next topic. This isn't how I personally feel. So, like, I don't know how far I can get into the conversation because I don't have a personal, like, I don't feel this way. But I wonder if those small decisions, or, like you said, the Coke versus Pepsi thing, like, if that makes you feel more of an individual versus the bigger things, like, you're probably going to have more people that agree with you. You're probably going to have more people that would, like, say that's a good idea or say that's a bad idea, that you liking or not liking or making these decisions so minuscule, like those day-to-day stuff, that can be an individual choice. So then you feel more of an individual versus like a part of something else.
And you think because you have more of a relationship with that or connection with that it
you tie to it then.
It riles people up more.
Yeah, it's like I'm a Coke person or I'm a Pepsi person.
Yeah. It's so weird to me. And I wonder where I do it. It's like I can't think of anything where I do, but I wonder where I get weird about the small thing like that. But then I'm like letting this major thing and I'm just like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I mean, to me, that's my thing. Like I get really tied up in the little price shit of things. Like I will analyze that pretty hard. Or the bad spot for me is like a grocery store. That's really where my indecisiveness comes out. Again, because the options, and now I'm analyzing all the options.
Yeah.
Which one's better? Which one has better ingredients? Which one has the best ingredients for the best price?
Well, and that's just where you start to play this game of kind of like what you were saying of you see it as a big puzzle and it's like, how do I find the cheapest thing that's the best for me?
Mm-hmm.
And I have to figure that out between, a million options in this grocery store. It's like we're going to the grocery store trying to find breakfast. Well, it's like breakfast could be a million different things. And now we have to figure out what's the cheapest and best for us, but also going to fill us up. So it's like now it's this whole conundrum where it's like it'd be easier just to go in and, well, what do I feel like? What do I want?
Yeah.
Or the opposite of like, I'm just going to go for the cheapest thing. Like, I'm not going to try to make all 7 points fit together.
And I think that's what I do too. I do a lot is I try to make all the 7 points work for a lot of the things.
Yeah, same.
I think that's why I love like places like Seed to Table. It's like everything in here is probably going to be the healthiest version of the thing. So now I just got to look at the price.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, tying that into the next topic, like the individuality of things and wanting to find that and seeking that out and maybe like making up a reality just to make that true. We were talking yesterday of, I don't even know why we were talking about it. But basically like the schedule could be a good example. Like, oh, we just want to be people that like can just like roll through the day and just like be like still productive, get all the stuff done, but like not need to follow a structure or not need to have, a layout of everything. Like we'll be able to just do it all. And then like holding true to that, even if it's not true. Oh, it was the carbs.
Yeah.
That for years we were like, carbs are great for us. Carbs are great for us. Like it doesn't affect us. Like it's weird. We're different. Like carbs don't bother us. And then we do an experiment of going basically meat and like, then we stopped doing carbs with that. And we just felt awesome. And then we added in like vegetables, which I thought was my whole issue of my digestion problem was vegetables. But then we kept not doing the carbs and we felt great. And then we kind of start adding in sourdough bread again, homemade sourdough. Then we start adding in the rice. It's like, okay, interesting. The digestive stuff's coming back. Oh, I'm getting bloated. Oh, I'm breaking out.
Oh, I'm inflamed. But
then still wanting to say like, it's not the carbs. It can't be.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like people don't want to change. We don't want to change. We want to be right.
We don't want to be, I think we don't want to be what everybody, not what everybody says, but like you want to feel like you're going to be the one that can go against the grain.
Yeah. We're contrarians. We don't want to be part of the norm. And I think a lot of people do that and feel that way. They want to be, oh, I can do it different. I can be unique. I can like what everybody else does, that doesn't work for me. I do it a different way and it's better for me.
And I really don't think for a lot of people, including us too, is I don't know if it's always just from the basis of wanting to be different and wanting to be a contrarian. I think it's because you so badly want that reality. Like I said, like I so badly want the reality of carbs are fine.
Yeah.
Because I want them.
Because you want that to work. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to believe that
fits into your...
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
That I think for a lot of people, it's that.
Yeah. And everybody does it in their own way and has their own things. And I think that's something that as I've gotten older, you know, it's because I'm such an old guy now, more of those things that I wanted to have it work in the way that I wanted to, it's like, oh shit, everybody was right. It's like, there's a reason why it's that way, or that is the truth. This is because people like me have tried to do it a different way, and it doesn't work that way, and they end up going to the other thing. And then they go, hey, I tried it too, it doesn't work, just do this. And then that person goes, go fuck yourself, I'm gonna do it my way. And then they start to do it, and then they go, oh, actually it works the way that they told me to. It's like, it's so frustrating that you can't, like, your ego can't handle it, or you can't just accept, like, yes, they're older, they've been through it, they know what they're talking about, I'm going to do it that way so I save myself time. You always go, I'm different. I'm going to make it be different. I'm going to be the change or unique or whatever. And so much of the time, probably majority of the time, it's like, no, it's what everybody said it was going to be. And if you would have just accepted that at the beginning, you wouldn't have wasted so much time. You have the little lights on you.
Should I go down more?
Yeah, I would try that. Although the sun just went away, but yeah, I would go down. That's probably good. But I think you waste so much time and stress, and, you know, how long does it take to realize, like, oh yeah, carbs aren't really working that well for me at all. And I could have been, like, feeling better and better brain activity, or better workouts, better everything, like, and I just, like, I basically just made a decision not to believe everybody else.
Well, that
because
is
I wanted it to work for me. And it's like that. I understand that. Like, I want to have carbs all the time too, but it's a little, there's ego in that of, like, oh, I'm going to be the one that carbs do work with. It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Probably not. And now you just wasted a bunch of time when you could have been feeling better and happier, healthier. Workouts are better, or you're not achy and in pain, and all of those things.
That carb thing is a great example, because I was so stuck, or like, no, that's not the issue. Now I completely took that out as an availability for me, and I constantly just looked for everything around me and feeling so hopeless of, like, I am in pain every single day. My stomach hurts. I'm getting bloated, whatever. And I'm cutting, like, everything out in my diet, and I don't know what to eat. It's like, well,
it's the one thing that you're not.
It's the one thing that I'm not cutting out, but I will not believe that it's that.
And it's like, because you don't want it to be.
Right. Yeah. But I think also in those moments, like, there is something good still, I think, about wanting to be the contrarian and wanting to test it, is because you might find something out of that as well. Like,
totally,
the carb thing. Carbs are not fully bad. Do I need to have something with every single meal that I eat in the day? No, but it's also not what everybody else says of never eat a single grain in your life. It's like, well, that's not true either. You just can't handle or portion control. But if I can portion control, I know that I just don't need to have it all the time. But I know how I can do that. So it's like, there also can be a third option of, it's not good, it's not bad. Is there something else that I think it also is helpful to, I don't know, like,
I think there's,
if you're set in your ways so heavily, I think that's just room for error.
You're missing stuff.
Yeah. But to question it, I don't think is negative.
No, I think there's, I don't know, there's a delicate balance, or a way to try to go about it of, like, I'm going to try it a different way, but I'm not going to, like, completely dismiss what you're saying, even though like generations have said to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how we innovate, is by trying to do things a different way.
Yep.
And trying to figure out new processes and all that kind of stuff. So somebody has to, and somebody should, but I think there's sometimes too much of that, of like, especially I feel like in today's world, where it's like everybody's trying to be unique and special and different, because that's what we're told going through school now, is like, you have to stand out, you have to be different, you have to find a way to be different and be unique and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, I get that you're not trying to just teach factory workers anymore, where you wanted everybody to be the exact same, and you've had this change of heart, school system of, you're unique and special,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's special in their own way. But we don't need to do that, of like pendulum swing all the way the other way. It's like, no, we're not all unique. We're mostly the same. All of us are mostly the same, and we mostly feel the same things. We mostly agree on the same things. Like, we're mostly the same people.
Yeah.
There's very small different tendencies within us, and a lot of the times those don't really matter that much. Like, if you like Coke and I like Pepsi or something, it doesn't really matter. You like purple, I like blue. It's like, who cares? But
this is so random and doesn't correlate to anything that we're talking about, but I forgot to tell you that when we were back home, Alani asked me, what's your favorite color today? I have never heard a kid ask it like that.
oh, today,
Like, what's your favorite color today?
like, it changes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, why not? Why can't it change every day?
Yeah.
She's just like, what's it today? And then the next day, what's your favorite color today? It's like, well, it's the same as yesterday, but I like that I have the option to change it. I was just like, oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Cut you off.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that's something that I'm realizing is like, trying to spend less time being different than everybody and being unique. It's like, it's exhausting, and a lot of the times, like, it's not true, or it doesn't work. You start to just fabricate stuff or make shit up, and trying to be different and trying to be this unique person, and it's like, that's not actually who you are most of the time. And it's like, it's such a waste of time, because you could just do what people have said for generations to do,
Mm-hmm.
in whatever way it is, and you can just like take that advice and go, rather than like, well, I'm gonna prove you wrong and I'm gonna do it different just because.
Oh my God,
it's like, what a waste of freaking time. Like, you're the idiot for doing that. You're dumb. This person is giving you the way that it works. You could just receive that and go get it done. But you want to like, I'm going to find a better way. It's like, there's so much ego in that. It's like, you're not coachable now. You can't be taught. Like, you have to figure out everything on your own. It's like, there's a lot of ego involved in that.
Yeah. Well, and I think when you choose that way every single time, of like, be different, and I want to prove people wrong, which is like all of my life, basically. It was just like, I was trying to prove the world wrong. You dissolve any opportunity to actually question what is at hand. Like, you're not going, well, let me look at this, and is there a third option, or is there a different approach, or maybe a different way to go about this? It doesn't mean that the other way is wrong. It's just, is there a third option? You completely avoid that even happening, because you're just going yes or no. Versus, that could be right, and there could also be another way to do it. And I'm going to find, maybe there is other options that maybe works for me better or whatever. But it doesn't mean that that initial suggestion or initial way to go about it is wrong and that the other way is right. The carb thing. It's not carbs are good or carbs are bad. For each individual, it depends of amount and what your behavior patterns are around it and what you can handle. And it's like, that's the answer. That's the search is where the search should be, not black and white. Everything is, you say this, I'm going to go the exact opposite. You say this, I'm going to just believe in the exact opposite and fight on that.
Yeah.
That's just as stupid as thinking there's only one way to do it.
Yeah. Well,
and then choosing, what do I care about finding my own way, and what is I'm just going to like, no, I believe you. Like, I remember the first year teaching, I was working with the littles a little bit more, and my boss, who was awesome with that age group, basically we were prepping for like the recital, and she would always do the dots like from the side of the room, and she would have them like go forward and then jut out across the stage or across the room. And I was like, why do you do that? Like, why don't you just have them go straight out? She's like, well, at that age, like, they're working on their proprioception. They're very aware of that. So on the stage, you're going to have them go out of the wing and then go closer to the edge of the stage. So we need to have them practice coming out and then going in that direction, because they're not smart enough, but like their proprioception isn't developed enough to know, oh, I was this far away from the mirror. I need to be this far away from the stage. So I can't just go straight out. I need to do this. Like, you're basically planning their muscle memory for them.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's just what I have learned with them. You can try it differently. She's like, I think it's not going to work, but learn it for yourself. Like, try it, and maybe this class will be different. Her knowing it's not going to be different. They're going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I liked that she was pushing me to like try a different way. Maybe this is just what I came up with that works. Maybe there's something else. That was something I consciously was like, you've probably had a lot of experience with this. That's not going to be the thing I'm going to push it. Like,
yeah,
I'll see if I can teach them something different that you couldn't. I'll see if I can have them advance quicker in this than you couldn't. That's what I'll test my uniqueness.
Yeah.
This, I don't need to hang my hat on.
Yeah.
That to not do that with everything, not needing to hang your hat on everything.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that happens a lot with raising kids. And that's something that I kind of worry about with us, is like, we're going to do it our way and our own way, and want to do it so specific to what we want and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, there's a reason why things have been done this way for so long. It's because it probably works and other ways don't work. So maybe you just want to do it that way to save yourself some time and effort and stress and all that kind of stuff. And I think I hate doing shit twice. I don't like having to start over. Sure. I don't like, doing something thinking it's right, and then I end up figuring out it's not. And if I would have done it the way somebody told me before, it would have worked out. That sort of thing, like wasting time that way. That part of me is just like, if it seems like somebody has done this thing for a long time, or there's like generations of people that do it this way, maybe just start with doing that, and then find your own little version within that works for you. Maybe it's like, why, I don't know, like why somebody gives you something that society or people have done with raising kids for hundreds of years, and you're like, nah, not for me. I'm going to do it different because I don't like that. And it's like, okay, great. And now cut to 3 years later and your kid can't fucking read or something.
Sure.
It's like, just do what everybody has done for forever.
Yeah.
I think one of the examples to me that continues to come up now is the monogamy thing.
Sure.
It's like, it has been this way for so long, probably for a reason. Why, like, and now these people that want the open relationship, and they talk about how amazing it is and great it is and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, for maybe 0.25% of you, but there's this like pressure to now be that way. Like, I'm so glad that both of us are like, no, this is probably like, we're good. We're gonna be together. That's it. Because going out and dating now,
I feel like when we talked about that before, like people being in an open relationship, it's like, this is so much work That to
Oh my
have
God.
to do that with another person?
Well, and it's just
This is a part-time job.
and like having to go, if I had to go back into that and like legitimately have those conversations with people, I would be like, you do realize how stupid this is, right? I have no patience for it because I'm like,
Sure.
this is for such a small part of the population. It's like, okay, cool. If you want to try this, I get it. But can we also just look at like history and the data
Yeah.
of monogamy has worked for so long. There's probably a reason why it's that way.
Yeah.
Why, like, it just seems like the new thing to do. And I just have no patience or time for that.
I think the thing with those things is where I start to question it is when we get away from the way that it used to be, but now we're making it current.
Well,
like
it's clearly like, to me, it's so obvious. It's this contrarian thing. It's so obvious that it's just, you want to be different because you want to stand out. It has nothing to do with like, no, I actually feel this way. It's like, you just want to be different. You want to be in the cool group. And this is the new thing to do. It's just like the fucking new brands that come out. You have to get this purse now, or you have to get these cool new Jordans in order to fit in. It's like, now to fit in, you have to be in an open relationship. Otherwise, you're not progressive and you're not like, you're not open to people being different or whatever. It's like, I'm open to people being different, but this is just a fad. And then when this goes away, nobody's going to look back and go like, hey, remember when everybody was screaming at the rooftops of how this is how society should be and monogamy is stupid and we should get rid of it and not allow it and blah, blah, blah. It's like,
yeah,
nobody's going to go like, hey, remember how stupid you were? Well, I was just this and I was experimenting and trying things and blah. It's like, no, you're being a fucking asshole. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's like, people are so crazy with stuff like this. And I have zero patience for it.
Yeah, that's what I mean with like getting away from what it used to be. I think where we will maybe be contrarian with, like you said, you worry about that with us with kids. I think the ways that we are going to be weird is like
Health.
It's not, well, I'm saying like it's not shit we came up with. Like we're choosing those things because it is closer to the way that they used to be. Like I feel like I always bug on this of just like how we treat pregnancy now. It's like we are getting way too overweight. As society, we choose obesity. So it's showing up in pregnancy as well. And we're seeing like unhealthy ways about this just because it's like it's adapted to American society. It's like you look at other countries, they're not overweight. They're not like adding 20, 30, 40 pounds every time that they have a kid. And it's like, it didn't used to be like that. Women were still up and walking around and gathering berries and doing shit. It's like you were not gaining a bunch of weight. You were not getting unhealthy. You also used to die in childbirth sometimes, but it's like we're getting away from that. But
I think a lot of that had to do with not having modern medicine, to where I think we've attributed it to, oh, they didn't have enough weight on them. It's like, in some cases for sure, but I think that's kind of a weird,
just because we have the food available to us doesn't mean we need to eat all of it.
Well, and it's like two things were happening and we chose the one that wasn't as serious.
And that works in our favor.
A little bit.
It allows women to be...
We can justify it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pregnant. I can have, 14 pizzas today.
Yeah, I'm eating for 2.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're eating for you and a...
You were eating for 3 before.
7 pound. Yeah.
But it's like stuff like that. Or, just doing so much, learning more about the school systems and stuff. It's like the way that we have the school system set up now isn't how it used to be. Like if you research any type of like basic childhood development, we are putting kids in a system that is prepping them for the work that you're going to do as an adult. It's not developing children's brains and for them to educate. We're not trying to educate children. We're trying to put them in a structure like we talked about so that they are able to succeed in their adult life.
Yeah.
So it's like, we might not choose that, but that's not because we think it's contrarian. We want to be different. It's like, well, that's what it used to be and we like that. Or feeding them certain things or focusing on health. That's what it used to be. So it just looks weird, or like we're trying to be contrarian or do our own thing, because what we are doing now with kids in society, I think, is we're choosing the open relationship version of like, this isn't what it used to be. This isn't how it's makes sense with our bodies. It doesn't make sense with our brain. It doesn't make sense with, ancestrally what was successful back in the day. It's like, this is just some new weird system.
Yeah, and I really am going to analyze that it's coming from from that point of view, from us,
Yeah,
from me, from you, because that's one of the things that, I don't know, with me kind of newly thinking about this of like, well, I've wasted a lot of time just trying to be different and contrarian and not do things the normal way. Where if I would have done it the normal way, like I probably would have saved time and stress and effort and all that kind of stuff. And not that I go back on any of the things that I believe in with kids or want to do with that, but just analyzing it more of like, is there a reason why it's been this way for a long time? And should it just continue to be that way? Or is this an area where this is
like an evolution?
Yeah, we can be a little bit different and try to be a little bit, more, I don't know, just whether it's healthier or more efficient about it. Because I think anytime have really strong stance, strong belief, it's like you got to question yourself with that. It's like, why are you so emotionally invested in that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're being weird about it for how strongly you're, I don't know, just like how strongly you're believing in that thing. And I think kids is one of those things where it's like, I've got strong feelings about, and it's like, okay, well, I need to analyze that before that time comes, because I could be making weird decisions because of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think one thing that's going to be different for us that I wish wasn't, but we're just going to have to build our own environment with that. Like, I think one thing that stays true with kids and raising kids is the community aspect of it. Like people saying like, it takes a village.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we live away. So like we don't have a village. We're not around people. And that's, something that I do still believe in, that's probably very beneficial and helpful, and having your kids be around other adults that they trust and they love, but it's not you.
Yeah.
So they might listen to them more or whatever. Like, well, I hope we can build that, because I do think that's very important, even though we're choosing a lifestyle that won't have that, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think you can build that.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I guess I'm changing, that like I didn't necessarily believe in before, that I do.
Oh, sure.
Sorry, I didn't preface that.
I think all in all, the different thing, it's overrated. Like it's so much better and cooler to be more alike than it is to be different. There's more things you can talk about. There's more things that you can get along with. There's more things to be able to relate to people with, have compassion and empathy, because you've gone through the same things, you experience the same things. Like, I don't know, there's part of that like being different message that's just so wrong to me, because it's like I spent so much time trying to be different that I just alienated myself from everybody and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not fun. Now you feel alone because of how different you are and how unique you are. It's like, it's way cooler and more fun and better to watch the same things that everybody else is watching.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why everybody's watching Netflix. It's because it's the best one there is.
Sure.
Like, why are we trying to be different? Like, I'm only an Apple Plus person. It's like,
right.
What? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching that, weirdo. It's like,
well, and then you muddy the waters for what is actually like truly unique about you.
yeah, totally.
Like,
because
if
you're
I
not
was
going to
like-
decide that anyways.
No,
Other people are.
It's like if I was like that with every little thing, then you're closing yourself off to community and relationship and likeness with other people. But if I was choosing like one thing where it's like, I really just am this way with one thing, and that maybe that's opposite to most people, but like that just tends to be a trait about me or whatever. And that is true. And then I find someone else with that actual likeness of trait. It's like, oh, that seems more like a genuine friendship then, because it's based off something unique and different that we can relate on, but it's not everything that I have has to be different.
Well, and frankly, those people are so hard to have a conversation with or get along with or talk to. And it's like, oh, what do you think about this? And it's just going to be like, oh, they think differently. They have a different idea. Like, you can't even talk to that person.
Yeah.
And that's no fun. And that's somewhat of the message put out all the time now. It's like, be different, be unique, have your own thoughts and your own opinions and whatever. And it's like, okay, I think believe in your own things. Like, make sure you actually believe in those things, but it doesn't have to be your own. We can both think that this quarterback is the greatest ever lived.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's cool. Now we have something to talk about that we agree on. That's so much better than like me making shit up just to be different. And that's just everywhere. It's like, it's so much more fun to, like the village thing, the community. It's so much better to be in a community and being able to agree with people on majority of everything. And then when something random pops up and you actually have a different point of view and you actually believe in that or a different opinion of it than somebody else, well, you agree on so many things that you naturally respect each other, that you can have this differing opinion and it's okay. Or if you have a different opinion about fucking everything and then another thing comes up, the person is just gonna be like, we don't agree on anything. Why am I even talking to you anymore? Like, you're so hard to get along with. You're so hard to hang out with. It's like, why? Why make all of that up to be different? It's like the people we see on your mom's house all the time. It's like, you tattooed your entire face. You're now not relatable to 99% of the population. Or you have you made yourself look like a devil and you're walking around town like that. It's like, you alienated yourself because you've been told you need to be different, you need to be unique, you need to be your own person. But now you're just more sad probably because you're even more alienated.
Right.
To where if you would have just found things that you agreed with people that you most likely do, most people agree on a lot of the same things, you wouldn't feel alienated and different and whatever. And like you said, the things that you are different about are more genuine and actually feels real, and that feels better than lying about everything all the time.
Well, and I think a lot of time, for me, as an example, I don't think I'm lying about those things. It just starts to become a behavior pattern of I'm not going to form my own opinion on it. This is the normal, so I have to go against it because I have to fight it. I have to figure out what's different about it. I have to figure out why people are wrong. So I just need to take that stance so then I can figure it out. But when you do that with everything, the things that you actually genuinely are different about, or maybe just have a different idea, it's now they're not going to believe you.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens with us all the time. You're just trying to be different. It's no, I actually don't agree with that, or I actually think differently or whatever. But it's if you're like that with everything, what is real and what isn't real?
Yeah.
And
it's almost like Boy Who Cried Wolf type of thing.
Yeah. And it's you are unique just because of it's you. And not to sound cheesy about that, but it's there's no one that can completely replicate anyone. There are similar types of people. There are similar personality traits. There is oh yeah, you're the same two guys or whatever. But still, there's got to be something. You had a different experience. You had a different childhood. You have a different job. You have a different, you work differently than that person. It's like, there is going to be something that makes you you. So just keep sharpening that tool if you want to, like,
well, it's
it's like if you're the product, like, what is you? What do you believe in? What do you like? What are traits that are individual to you? It doesn't need to be opposite of anybody. Just what makes you up, and then focus on that.
Why do we even care about the uniqueness? I think that's like a weird lie we've been told to like get ahead in life.
I think because it makes people feel valued. Like, it's almost like a currency.
Like false value.
It is.
Because
I think
nobody's
that's
not even that unique.
Right.
It's like, how many singers have come and gone? How many, NFL players have come and gone? And it's like, everything's always innovating. It's becoming better, or it's just different, and what people want is different now. It's like, what's popular music now is different than what it was 20 years ago. It's like rock bands aren't the biggest things in the world anymore. It's like these pop singers or whatever. So it's like, why do we even care? Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback to ever live. That's an opinion.
Right now.
But when he was coming up and the young guy and doing all this crazy stuff, everybody's like, oh my God, he's amazing. But it's like the same thing's happening with Patrick Mahomes. It used to be Britney Spears. Now it's Taylor Swift. Like, this stuff just always moves along and moves off anyways. And I think, I don't know, like when it comes to just being in a job and going and doing your job too, it's like, I don't think the employee cares about how unique you are or different you are. They want you to be easy to work with and get along with. And do you do your job?
Have the traits.
Yeah. Do you do a good job? Do you get your work done? Do you show up on time? Are you easy to get along with? Can I talk to you? It's like, we're not nobody's really looking for someone to be like, I want to find the most unique, different person in here. It's like,
that's
so
also
you don't want to be
confusing.
able to talk to them?
Yeah, that's hard to read and understand and predict.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's just this weird lie that keeps getting floated out. Like, you need to be different. You need to set yourself apart. You need to be unique. It's like, no, I don't think so. I think you just need to be likable and do a good job. And like,
I wonder if that, like I said, I feel like it's a currency that we have.
I think it's ego.
But that, I think, it's like, what was I going to say? I lost it.
I don't think it's so much currency as I think it's like social credit.
That to me is the same.
Because I think just like the chasing the uniqueness and trying to always be unique and different, and the people that maybe do have some success in that, it's kind of the same thing of like chasing the money. Is like, it's not going to fulfill you. You think it is because that's what everybody's maybe giving you the attention for. But
I think the uniqueness, you can't construct that. It's kind of like the star thing. Like, you either have it or you don't. Because you could say, oh, Taylor Swift works harder than everybody. Maybe not. She probably just has something about her that all of our brains, or some people's brains, really like, and some people just kind of don't care. Michael Jackson. Some people would, like, majority of people just liked what he was doing. It's not like he even has like unique traits or whatever. It's like, he's another guy that can sing and dance. But there's something about him that we all gravitate towards. Like, I don't think you can propose being unique. You either are or you're not.
Well, and
a lot of people aren't.
And to even further the point, it's like, so you can't even construct it. So why are you trying to be different? Why is that advice still being pushed to be unique? It's like, you can't make it up.
That is like something that what do you say? Like, people are going to decide that for you. You can't decide that.
Yeah.
People are going to tell you if you're unique.
Well, and we see it all the time in the UFC. There's been how many people that come along that trash talk and talk a big game, and they're popular for that maybe, or like they're likable because of that, or they're not likable. It's been going on for forever. But then someone like Conor McGregor comes, and it's like people are like, he's the first of his kind. It's like, no, he's not.
He's doing the same things.
Yes, but there's for
Something
some
about
reason
him.
there's something about him.
Yeah.
And then people after him have tried to do the same thing too.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Yep.
It's like, if it was something you could construct, all of these guys that have tried to do that would then have that type of stardom, but it just didn't work.
Yep.
So why? And it's like, because it's not up to you. You don't get to choose whether you're unique or not, or whether you can make this happen or not. It's like, it's everybody else's perception of you. And for some reason, Michael Jackson, Britney Spears or Taylor Swift or whoever, people just have this like, it's almost
an
like
awe.
almost like hypnotism, this awe. It's like, and why? Why does everybody agree on this one person? Or not everybody, but why do so many agree on this one person? And it's like, have you seen this person?
Yeah.
You don't get it? What do you mean you don't get it? It's like, this is the most incredible thing ever. It's like, it's so weird. Yeah. It's so weird. And there's no way that they're like trying to make that happen or construct it.
No.
That's just who they are.
Yeah.
That's what they say about Conor McGregor. It's like, that's literally just who he is. It's like, he's like that pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
It's like,
and how many people do try to replicate it, and it's like, this looks weird on you.
Totally. Because
to
it's
where
fake.
It's like, this is just, it is. It's like that it factor. You can't make the it factor. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah. So stop trying to
create it.
And make it.
Yeah.
And like you said, other people are going to decide what's unique about you or not.
Yeah.
It's not up to you to decide.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, like, being different and unique isn't a great thing.
It's not relatable.
It's not relatable. You maybe can't talk to that person because of this uniqueness that they maybe have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be normal. Be regular.
What if your 16-year-old self would hear you talk about this?
Oh, I mean, you can't. I wouldn't. My 16-year-old self didn't have the capabilities to change their mind.
Yeah.
It was going to be my way or the highway.
Yeah.
I was going to run that course no matter what. Mm-hmm. I had to figure out it on my own. Mm-hmm. And that's like part of this big chunk of this podcast is like, oh, I did that. I'm sick of trying to figure out everything on my own. So it's such a waste of time. It's inefficient. How many more steps ahead could I be if I would have listened to people rather than trying to figure out everything on my own?
Yeah.
Sure, there's lessons to learn along the way, but you can also learn lessons
via other people's.
Yeah. By not having to do it all yourself.
Right. Which is
I'm
honestly,
not,
that's
going
just...
and, hunting for every piece of food because I need to know what it feels like to get my own food. It's like, no, I'll go to the grocery store. Sure. Well, yeah, it's like, that's like being an adult to a kid or being a parent to a kid or why there's old people. Yeah. Like, yeah, we've learned that if you put your hand on this hot thing, it burns you. Yeah.
We could tell a kid that.
I don't need to try it.
You don't, it's like, yeah.
Why would I try that?
I guess if you want, but
yeah,
we know the outcome already. It's been tested.
Yeah.
It's so, goes against what we were talking about this whole time. My like natural attraction to people is whether they are this way or that way. Like, I love that kid, like what you just described. Like, no one would change my mind. There's nothing that could change my mind. I love that And I also love the exact opposite when people don't care about anything ever.
Yeah.
They're like, I have zero opinions on anything. You believe that? Okay, I'll believe that. Like, they just have they want to be, not even that they don't want to be an individual at all. Like, they just don't have any fire in them with that. It's just like,
well, I think it's just
I don't care about anything.
They can't like either of those extremes can't be manipulated.
Maybe that's why I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're the person that's so stubborn they won't listen to anybody. It's like, oh, you're just going to do what you're going to do and nobody can change that.
Yeah.
And then same with the opposite where it's like, you can't trick that person into anything.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, okay.
Both
sure.
of those feel so strong to me. Yeah. Like they feel very safe and like, oh, you're like a very powerhouse individual, even though they demonstrate complete opposites. Like the person that doesn't care, I'm just like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But both have their stupidity.
Oh, 100%.
You know, they're not like, oh, you should be one or the other. It's like, they both have their downsides for sure.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of opposite of what we're talking about because I don't think it's smart to be either way super crazy. I just notice I naturally, like, I'm intrigued by that. Like, I'm very, it might not be a healthy attraction to have, but I definitely have it in people.
Yeah.
But I guess that's probably not a healthy thing to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably just like, it's interesting because it's a little bit different. People usually aren't super stubborn or like super, who cares? I don't care about anything.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Be regular.
Care about some stuff, don't care about some stuff.
You're more fun to get along with if you're normal, regular.
Yeah.
Agree on things. Same point of view. That's why I love Joe List. When anytime he's like says something controversial, he's like, whatever you think, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to fight. It's like, that's totally how I feel all the time. I don't want to argue. I don't want to, like, I'm not confrontational. It's like, whatever you think, I'm just going to go with.
Yeah.
And that I can totally make up and go with whatever you're wanting.
Yeah.
I don't need to fight.
Well, because realistically, there's not a lot of things that I really am passionate about or care about. There's just not.
No. Well,
there are some things that I am, and then I maybe should question, like, why? And what are your true beliefs on it? And, like, do those still hold up? Like, adjusting those with time. Like, well, I used to. Like, do I think that now? Or have I been shown otherwise or whatever?
And I think that's the biggest reason
that's
not
also
to.
Such little things. Not little things. Like, there's not a lot of those things that I have.
Yeah. It's dangerous too. Because again, you're not seeing the full picture of it.
Yeah.
Like, you're closing yourself off to seeing other options then.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, how much has your mind changed about things in the last 5 years? Like,
with some things, a lot. Yeah. And there's some things where it's like, no, that's a pretty big consistent.
And then fast forward 5 years. It's probably going to change more. And then another 5 and then another 5.
Yeah.
Like it. So to hold on to things so strongly, it's like,
you're stopping yourself from evolving.
Yeah. And you're going to just kind of feel silly and embarrassed when you're like, oh, I was actually wrong.
Sure.
Or I don't believe in that anymore. And it's like, oh, really? You were screaming from the rooftops 3 years ago about it. And now you don't really believe in it? Or like you said, you could be
wasting your time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's only one way to end this episode.
Question of the day.
Nope. Well, do you have one?
No, but I would like to do one.
Here's my goosebumps walk away. Golfers aren't athletes.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Why? I agree, but why?
I was just trying to rile up one of our listeners. That was my only intention.
Okay.
Do you get it now?
I get it now.
That was such a funny conversation.
That would be, I wish we could do that more. Like just put little sprinkles in for certain people that we know that
we should try to do that one an episode. Put a sprinkle in for people. That's the sprinkle. Golfers aren't athletes. They're just people. You know what the best part is?
People in nice clothes.
The best part is he can't argue back.
Well, let's see if he gets this far in the episode.
Yeah, no kidding. Last 10 seconds of it. We'll know at Christmas.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Later, Gator.